Hello, I'm here with Studio, which is the design software developed by Bricklink. Now, if you don't know Bricklink, what are you doing with Lego? Bricklink is like the online warehouse where you can buy just about anything Lego related. It's pieces, sets. It's a crazy worldwide community as well, which is amazing. And just this in last 2-3 weeks, they've released the Studio 2.0. Now it's been around since like 2016, the software, but the latest overhaul, I suppose, of their software has been unfortunately quiet, I think, amongst the Lego community. But I mean, this is the site. You can just get it straight from here. I'll put a link in the video, of course. Now, the beautiful thing about this software, and I'm going to go over as much as I can, but the most beautiful thing about this software is it all comes back to Bricklink, and it doesn't like not want you to use Lego Digital Designer. Um, you can import your models from Lego Digital Designer or Elddraw, which if you use either of those, and they would just both perfectly come in. This is just like a little example build, like a model that the software has ready to go. But everything comes back to Bricklink, and that's incredible, absolutely amazing. And it's like an all-in-one kind of software as well. So you can build, like you have the building directory down here, which you can sift through yourself and find like the layout and everything, and the general UI, like user interface of this software, is so similar to Lego Digital Designer, but it's so much more advanced and customizable. That's fantastic. And you can also do a lot more like illegal building techniques as well. I mean, I love Lego Digital Designer. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful piece of software, and I'm very used to using it. So there are some changes in this software which, if I had to say go move over to this permanently, which right now there's no reason for me to, but if I did, there are some like user interface things that I will have to get around, or at least wrap my head around. But um, first thing really is you can customize like those commands and how the software works yourself. Preferences, input, everything's customizable, which I love, absolutely love. You can change the real time render quality of your model while you're working on it. You can add the edges and take them away without having to restart the software either, which I really love. Not that it's a huge problem, but sometimes it's just Lego Digital Designer, especially, you need to restart the software. I don't know about Elddraw. I've never used it, never touched it. And then with general, like first thing, currency. As I said, this software comes back to Bricklink. This software will tell you the average, like the kind of a ballpark figure cost of your figure of your model rather, and that's just awesome. I absolutely love it. Like, set it to the dollary do, and then yep, cool. And then I mean I don't know where the model info. Here we are. Uh, this thing would cost. Okay, so it's doing the search for me while I it's compiling all the pieces, looking for them. Uh, Total that's 128. Okay, but yeah, this software will do all the bricklinking for you, and then you can just upload your model to Bricklink, put it in a wish list under your username, I suppose, and then or you can put it into the community, like into the build community, into its own kind of in its own gallery or under the studio, I suppose. No, it'd be under the gallery, and then other people can buy and build this model, which is awesome if you want to share, your creations and all that. So now it looks like it's finished. About $60 to make this, which for 350 pieces, eh, it's a bit overpriced, but fully customized piece, and there are some very unique pieces in here, like that Black Digger Claw. I'm sure it doesn't come cheap. Um, yeah, so that I love. I absolutely love. Now, also with this software is it's got built-in rendering, which is amazing. Because it's an all-in-one package. It does the building, it does the rendering, and it also does the instructions, which is cool. Love it. Haven't touched the instructions yet, but with the rendering, and I'll flip over to the Mad Cat, and that's something awesome. You can have multiple projects open simultaneously. Lego Digital Designer doesn't allow you to do that. So say you're, I don't know, buildings like you have two, like you wanted to copy that Lego, but you don't want to have to like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just awesome having like a referential model and then one you're actually working on over at the same time. Love it. You know, the rendering, um, it's got a well, two major overarching options. There's photorealistic, which I'll give you an example of, and then there's Povray. And I think Povray is just like the not quite photorealistic. It's just like really nice. Kind of looks more like Blue Render, which is what I use. Like if you know my spinning 360 renders, I think that's what Povray kind of gets. Like that quality, which is really good and very quick. Photorealistic, of course, a bit slower. Just some my tips, I suppose, especially if you have your own like Photoshop or GIMP. GIMP is free. Oh, um, I'd set the background to transparent, so you just take off that tick because the floor it says floor color and it means it when it says floor color. It hits the horizon and it just goes to black, and then I turn the shadow off because I can just Photoshop myself. I love this, how there's the like a real-time kind of example, whereas the blue render you have to like render like pre-render a wireframe to get your perspective, whereas this one's just ready raring to go, and then you can just I could just if I want to hit render and then it would render that exact view to this image size and to this level of detail. Nothing against Blue Render. I love that software, and it has one feature that this software doesn't, which I will 9 times out of 10 go to Blue Render for, and that's it can. This software doesn't have like the render sequence, where you can like render a spin cycle, say, of your model, which is something that I love Blue Render to do. And in another video, I'll show you how you can do that. It's very easy to do in Blue Render. Um, I set to very high because my computer can handle it. I've set it to GPU because GPU rendering is like twice as fast as CPU rendering. I put stud logo on, and that just basically means like the studs on the pieces like where the studs are exposed render into the image. So like say on this wedge piece, yeah, you would have the Lego logo on there, which is awesome. Weathering I turn off, but it does have its uses. It's just the weathering, if it had a slider, like from not weathered at all to like incredibly weathered, I would love that. But the weathering like the standard weathering is quite extreme, and not in a and it's in a, like this is it. It's unusual as far as weathering goes. Like it's not scuffed, it's scratched, and the pieces are still quite, I don't know, shiny and lustrous, I suppose, to some degree. Like these black pieces are so shiny when they're not scuffed and scarred. I don't know, it just I don't know, it looks like a very pasted on kind of weathering. Like it's like a different skin to the piece rather than actual proper cuts and digs and scuffs and scars kind of weathering. So yeah, not overly fond of the weathering, but I can see it totally having its applications, totally having its uses if that's what you're looking for. But um, I like to set to dawn. It has nice backlighting for the angle that I set mine to. Maybe like default, and you can just go through all these different like positional lightings. It uses I think 2 point lighting. Well, not like extreme, like intense 2-point lighting. Like it has its soft, like universal light, but then you can really tell there's a backlight with the dawn. Um, I set to just regular HD, and this, like, I'll show you what this comes out as. Comes out really nicely. Like, if you told me that was photorealistic, I would believe you. If you told me it was a photo, no, I'm sorry. Um, there's, yeah, this is what I meant about that floor um, fill, like set floor color to white, but then the sky, the ceiling is black, kind of weird. And it's interesting. Like that's you can see on the render itself. Like this is just the regular. Like disregard the background. You can see the difference that dawn has, that dawn setting has to just the regular lighting. Like that backlighting really, I just love it. I think it's fantastic. And you can see like it kind of skips from black to like that dark gray because of the transparent background. And I could put it in any background I wanted with Photoshop or GIMP, for instance. I'm a Photoshop boy through and through. Yeah, that's the rendering. Povre, of course, has its own settings and all that, which are much the same. But photorealistic takes, I would say, is a much more intense. The lighting is much more refined and takes a lot longer for that reason. And then if you want to check out like the instructions, because this has a really amazing instructions feature as well, which I haven't checked out, but the the video like on Bricklink, like advertising Studio 2.0 showcases it, and it looks straight up just like you can make instructions as good and as similar to actual like Lego instructions with the same boxes and arrows and everything as you want. Like if you put the time into it, you can get something really, really professional. And to find those, just go to Tools, and there, it's Instruction Maker. I don't really want to press that right now because it's probably going to give this program a heart attack because I have like so many things running in the background on my computer. Um, but yeah, you can like you can import custom images for like the front page and all that. Awesome piece of software. Um, and like there's so many like little hidden features and even things that like are just screamingly obvious, like content colors. This is every single color that's currently being used in my model. Some are less obvious than others, and you do also have to figure out like which gray that is. Yeah, and like which blue that is, for instance. When I'm like looking at it, I know that's a little transparent blue that I've got for my spotlight. But if you've got like multiple blues and I don't know the content colors, I mean you can just hide it if it's really annoying. But I don't know, just as a standard feature, it's really cool. It's really cool. Um, yeah, of course you'll have to adjust. There are things are laid out differently, of course, in the software compared to LDD. Like how to group stuff is, of course, going to be different, and I haven't really looked into that yet at all. I mean, with this Cougar, what's called the sample Cougar, um, it's got everything grouped up. Like I just hovering over this leg, I can select the leg, I can pull it off, and undo. Yeah, it's like this is a beautiful like simple air quote simple showcase of like what you can do, what you could do with this software. And this shows you, how you can start your software, like start your program, like start your building in LDD, import it into Studio. And there are, like, because it's in the beta phase, of course, there are going to be some hiccups, there are going to be some things that don't work, pieces that don't quite sit right. Like, I'd say I put, like, a good half hour into this, like, cleaning up this model because a lot of, like, not a lot, but a lot of the newer elements, like, pieces new to LEGO Digital Designer, and I'm sure new to Studio as well, didn't sit quite right. Like, they were kind of, like, it almost looked like an invisible jumper plate had kind of shifted them around a bit, and they clashed and went to like this wireframe kind of. Yeah, it's The clashing in this software isn't nearly as bad as the clash errors in LDD, because LDD will open your model and say, four pieces add clash issues. I don't know what the actual notice is, even though seen it a million times. It says blank X amount of pieces had a clash issue and have been removed for the project. Press OK to continue, whatever. You press OK, and then those pieces, wherever they are, have been removed. This one doesn't care about that. It just goes, okay, you've got a clash issue, and this is where that clash issue is. And it doesn't, like, point at them. It just makes the pieces go into this wireframe. Like, there's no color, there's no fill. You just have the outline, like the vertices of the piece. And you obviously know there's something wrong with that because it looks different. Duh. Like it's such a beautiful software. I'm already loving it. I would definitely be putting some time into this. And like I love how much this all comes back to Bricklink. Like they just know they're using this software. People are going to want to send their models over to Bricklink and have the community see it, or they just want a much more streamlined method of getting their model into real life. Because going from Lego Digital Designer to Bricklink is I would say it's kind of a nightmare, especially like making the wish lists, like the just not making the wish list itself, but making the file that you submit to your wish list. It's got a specific name, I can't quite remember it, but it's a type of file. It's like a uh, it's not an LDD file. It's a B. It starts with B. I can't remember. Um, it's like a notepad file, and a lot of the pieces have like incomplete serials in LDD, and Bricklink doesn't understand those very well, so a lot of pieces go missing or have errors, whereas this software, of course, fills in the gaps for you, and then you can just send it off to Bricklink, and done. I'm sure there's like a quarter of the amount of work, and you can already like get an idea in this software because it's all online how much your model is going to cost rather, and how much each individual piece costs. How much like one thing I had no idea about, and I can just go into model info, physical information. I know that this thing weighs just over half a kilo, or 19 ounces basically, and like that's about what I expected. But it's just awesome that these dimensions are just there, ready, gone, ready to go. You don't have to like do the math yourself like in LDD. There's so many extra features. And I'm sure because of these features and all these like little things running in the background, that this software is a lot more demanding, like on your computer, than LDD. Maybe not. I mean, I could do like a RAM test um, and see, but I get the feeling that this would be a bit more demanding performance-wise, and I got no problem with that. My computer can take it. Um, it runs like like my A-wing, which is 5,500 pieces. It loads that in just fine. Um, Maybe within 5 seconds, it renders the entire thing, which is awesome. Not like photo realistic renders, but I mean like this real-time working render. So it's yeah, gorgeous piece of software. Can't wait to get into it and show you some more stuff. But this is just a first impressions video, and yeah, let me know what you guys think if you have checked it out before. If I'm late to the game, who knows? Yay. Oh, also, I decided to like double up on the Mad Cat again because I've been playing so much MechWarrior Online, like so much. I love that game, and I've been in a real like mech kind of BattleTech mood lately, MechWarrior mood. So yeah, I thought I'd use it to like as my little centerpiece, I suppose. You might be getting sick of it, but I'm working on some new stuff. I swear. My Starfighter is coming along really nicely, and I've got another. It's not even mech. It's not even sci-fi. It's just a very generic kind of a model. It's a cute little sand castle I'm working on, which I thought was nice. Something a bit more modular rather than you know spindly and possibly going to fall over when I build it. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, cheers.